What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar, or another dollar lost, depending on how you traded today. As it was a very tricky and just not accommodating market at all. Bunch of BS with the beige book coming out, Fed minutes, Trump, tariffs, bunch of BS between it all, which causes these algorithms to do some wacky things. And honestly, this is not the easiest market to be trading at the moment. If you are a trader and you are trading this market and making money in these environments, congratulations to you, because this is, I mean, it requires a lot of knowledge on when to get involved and when not to get involved, a lot of patience. You either see it or you don't. And, this week's just been one of those weeks. It's a shortened week due to the Memorial Day on Monday. Yesterday, we went with a triple distribution day up to the upside. Today, we started with a double distribution day to the downside. XS and A ended up turning to a pretty nice B shape early on in the day. And then in K period, we get a spike lower. That gets taken back. We try to resume what we were doing. God knows what happens. We roll over M period probes. And then we get into the set of single prints from the triple distribution day on Tuesday. So crazy market, tough to read. Overall, I've been trading all right, I suppose. I guess I could be losing more money in these conditions. So the fact that I'm not completely blown my account yet is just means we're managing things okay at the moment. Today I came into the market more or less expecting us to, especially with the gap up, expecting us to kind of attempt to break out of balance on the upside. So we are in a nice little balance on our daily. Bring that up and look at that with you guys. This is our daily balance here on our chart. We gapped up, put the daily back into a balance because we were one time framing down, tested and touched the 200-day moving average for 1 day. Once again, 1 day does not make a market, but apparently in this case it does. Rotate up, put ourselves into a nice little balance. We are using the 21st high as our balance high. So whatever you have as the 21st high, that is going to be your balance high. And you can see we got right up near it and backed off. So that whenever you are in balance, you have 3 balance rules that you look to apply. First one being get near balance high and roll over. Second one being get near balance high, push through, come back in. And lastly, get near balance high, push through it and away from it and get good extension. Same thing applies on the downside. If we ever come back down to our balance low area, if we just get near it, how do we react? Do we just get near it, rotate back the other direction, stretch it a little bit, come back in, or push through it and never look back? We still have a pretty nice gap on the downside that has yet to get filled. So at some point that'll have to get filled. We've got 2 downside gaps that we need to get filled at some point. We have this gap here, and then we have another gap down here. So 2 little gaps that need to be filled on the daily. All 3 of our time frames are in balance for the most part. Our weekly's in balance, our daily's in balance, and our monthly is also in balance. So a whole lot of chop can be expected, and that's kind of more or less what we're seeing at the moment. Ranges have been good. However, it's just whether or not you've been on the right side of the range or not. This morning early on, everything in my gut told me to short whenever we came back in the previous day's range, especially in B period. Was looking for that rotation down. We just did not get there. So I just did not take it, I should say. And then we just ended up rotating lower and kind of one time framing down for the next several minutes. I did take a good trade in E period and an F period that I unfortunately got stopped out on. Whenever the market pushed down lower in E period, I was long around 16s. My stop was below. Stop was, I think, 12 12.25, I think is what I have wrote down. Yeah, 12.25 is what I had written down. I was looking to long to come back up and eventually fill the set of single prints, and which we did end up doing, but later on in the day. But I was looking for us to stop the one time frame and down, rotate up higher. But in ES, we rotated down to 13, but in MES, we set a low at 12 in that time frame. So it stopped me out of my position. And of course, they rotate back up and do exactly what I was looking for in F period, stop the one time frame and down. Now, I did get in a trade around this time in F period. I took a long around 20, added at 24, and I was more or less looking for the set of single prints to fill. If we filled the set of single prints, I was looking for us to maybe get more of a rotation back up and then test the bit of excess that we had up here at B's high, right? I was looking for us to push back up to 36. If we can take back those single prints, find acceptance above the 20, the 59.20 level, and rotate back up, because that was basically where the upper distribution began, was in that 20s level, right? So looking for us to rotate back up, and if we could find acceptance back up here, the likelihood of testing B's high, I felt like was pretty good, especially since sellers had stopped well in time frame down. They really didn't get much extension or acceptance in the middle distribution. All those things kind of added up to eventually rotating up higher. Well, we did fill those set of single prints, and I was not near my computer like a dummy. In order to take off the trade, added profit, it rotated in. I remained in the trade. It rotated up. I still remained in the trade. It pulled back in I period, remained in the trade. It pushed up in J. I remained in the trade. At this point, I'd moved my stop up from the low of day to I's low, because I was like, you know what? If they are going to go get it, they should not take out I's low. And then you get all the BS with Trump, and we get that spike lower, which stops me out. And that was my last trade of the day. Once again, not an easy market to trade, because early on you had value. You had one time, or you had the overnight high, and then we just kind of rotate in, bring value back to unchanged, get the overnight low, or one time framing down. So it's like everything that you wouldn't expect to happen. And then, of course, whenever you find an area that you were interested in longing, you got to be quick on taking profits, because not every day are you going to get this type of grind up, which is more or less what I was expecting, kind of a V-shaped recovery. We did not get that. It more or less just ended up rotating over. So what do we look for tomorrow? Tomorrow we look to see if we open up inside the day's range. We'll most likely get some more chop. We want to see if we test the lower distribution down here from yesterday's triple distribution day. So essentially, if we open below 5,900, which is our price probe area of 5,903, we open below that, you will look to rotate down lower into around the 5870s. If we open above 5903, expect chop, and then more likely a rotation up to 5924, where we did develop a nice wide point of control at, let's see, what was that? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a 10 wide point of control there. So nice point of control at 5924. So if we open above 5903, look for rotation back up to that point. That's which would most likely be pretty likely, in my opinion. Any acceptance above that, then you look to take away at the excess and test the balance high again. Same thing on the downside. Acceptance below that 5903, your targets are going to be lowest accepted price 58.85, and then 58.70s on the downside, and then your balance low will come into play way down here at 57.80, if I'm not mistaken, right? 57.80s. Yeah. So at that point, you would most likely be back testing the 200-day moving average if you were to get to that low point. So yeah, tough market to read. Tough environment to be in, trading wise. If we were to look at session, this is, get rid of these here, remove that. You can see how we had a bit of a B shape and ended up turning into like a bell curve here. So any acceptance back above that 5903 level, you will come back to where we packed in all this volume at some point. But you can see we got both overnights. You had your overnight high here, overnight low here. We got both overnights today. That tends to happen about 25% of the time. So very rare that we'd get it both times, but it did happen. So we just look to see what we can do tomorrow. Hopefully we get more accommodating price action. So uh, thanks for stopping in. If you do watch these videos, I appreciate it. If you want to learn more, go check out Paul Lasmore on YouTube. Go check out Camelback Trading, camelbacktrading.org for all your informational needs. Catch you guys later.